Hey everyone, Andrew here. So I'm going to keep this opening a little brief. So here recently there's been a release on the 6th of November for a little Nintendo game that was made by Omega Force, known as Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. And I've got some thoughts, and then I'm going to share those thoughts. But first I kind of want to take a look at some of the other Omega Force games that are on the Nintendo Switch, and by proxy Nintendo Switch 2. Because there's actually some kind of interesting things going on here in terms of like performance, and just thought it'd be a cool little look into a library of games that you may or may not, pay attention to, due to it being on a Switch or Switch 2. Normally these are games that I would be saying go play elsewhere, but there's actually a few in this list that run phenomenally, and I'm actually kind of shocked. I don't know why I never tested these games before on Switch 2, but here we are. So yeah, let's jump in. Let's take a little look at some of the Musou games, or Warriors as we call them here in the West, and see just how well they perform on Nintendo Switch 2, and then we'll get into my Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment mini review. It's a good one, so let's get right into it. Before we get started, let's kind of just talk about this. What is a Musou? So a Musou or Warriors game is basically a really cool hack and slash where it's you versus thousands. So you're slashing through armies that are super massive, having a good time, fighting commanders, taking over camps, and, ultimately working towards an overall objective. Ton of fun. Always really just a blast. These games are definitely a power trip, so if you're wanting a challenge, do what I do. Play them on the highest difficulty possible. It's just more fun that way. Enemies actually pose a genuine threat and can kill you, which is just, it's good. It's good fun. I really enjoy the scale of these games. They're so silly and wacky. But here we're looking at Dynasty Warriors Origins. This game came out earlier this year and is an absolute blast to play. And really the big reason I wanted to bring it up here is just because this game is getting a Switch 2 port in early 2026. I will more than likely be looking at it on the channel because I do like it a lot. And I just kind of figured I'd show this off. The cool thing about Warriors games is that there's quite a variety of them, and the variety is present on the Nintendo Switch and Switch 2. So we'll kind of get moving, and by the way, when I say variety, I mean they straight up have a roguelike Warriors game called Warriors Abyss. It's pretty weird. It's got characters from like Ninja Gaiden and the Atelier series, which I'm not that familiar with. I'm not gonna lie, I've never played an Atelier game, but I know that Koei Tecmo is responsible for them, and they are here as well. Warriors Abyss is on Switch 2 and Switch 1. This is the PC version you are seeing now. This game does run at 30 FPS on Switch 2, but I have heard it is a locked experience and is overall very solid and enjoyable. I just have it on PC and have not decided to double dip just yet. Let's move on to these actual Switch titles on Switch 2, shall we? I'm not going to spend too much time on this one. This is one I've played mostly on Steam, but decided to nab it on Switch just so I could check it out. This is Fate Samurai Remnant. This is more of a story-heavy game, as most of the Fate games are. Takes place in a cool feudal-era Japan setting. It is a Holy Grail war, much like other Fate properties. On Switch 2, this game, it has a nice enough art style. It is pretty appealing to me visually, I will say. I really love the character portraits in particular, and just the overall atmosphere is really neat. It is a locked 30 FPS, and I mean, I'm only showing the tutorial section here because I felt this was, a good way to kind of just showcase what action looks like. This is not a huge amount of enemies, but it's a respectable amount. This game is solid. I really enjoyed my time with it on Steam, and I think this is worth a pickup if you're into more anime style games, for sure. It is a little more involved than most Warriors games in terms of like plot. This is a game that a lot of people are going to be able to kind of pick up and just enjoy the story, as well as the action. It's a good time. I do recommend it.
だからこそ油断している。 まさか俺たちに狙われているとは思うまい。
なるほど。
普通のやり方では乱世に飲まれるだけだからな。マタザは負けると思うか？
聞くなよ。俺はお前を信じるだけだ。行くぞ
Samurai Warriors 5 is a really neat game. This is one that I also predominantly played on Steam before this video. I really wanted to see how it performed, just because I think artistically this is a pretty big departure for the any mainline Warriors game. They went for this more like anime comic book aesthetic that does work pretty well for the game, and I do think it kind of helps the game on the Switch too to feel a little bit better, considering that it is a 30 FPS game, unfortunately. This is one that I really would like to see get some form of patch, maybe not even necessarily an upgrade, but something like what Dragon Quest III HD2D did, where you just get like the ability to uncap the frame rate. That'd be really cool. I do like this game a whole lot. I just kind of wish that performance was not locked to 30. This would have been incredible at 60 on Switch 2 for sure. But that being said, this is still a really fun Warriors game. I don't think it's my favorite, but it's definitely one that I think if you are into samurai, or anime, again, kind of like Samurai Remnant, like if you're into that style, I think there's something to be enjoyed here for sure. This game, I think a lot of people view this one as a bit too easy, but I mean that's okay. It's just a dumb fun kind of game to begin with. And of all the dumb fun to be had, this is probably the dumbest of the dumb fun. So I hope that makes sense to you. But let's move on. Next up, we have Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires. This game is running at 30 FPS on Switch 2. However, it's a very sturdy 30 FPS. It actually looks pretty darn good and feels really good to play as well. This game is goofy, is the way I put it. It's definitely not at all my favorite of the Warriors games, but there's a certain charm to it. The chaos, in particular fighting important NPCs, it's pretty wacky. Like, this game does get pretty excessive with certain enemies just kind of rolling in. Like, right before this fight started, I had 4 different named NPCs roll in, took the camera away from me, and was like, I'm gonna fight you, I'm gonna fight you, I'm here to beat you. And then I just kind of systematically went around and killed all of them. It was really funny, is what I'm trying to say. This game is goofy, like, as all get out. I do like it, but this one's more of a guilty pleasure kind of game for me. Not one that I would sit down and say, like, man, I want to play a Dynasty Warriors. I want to play Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires. That just doesn't happen. You're probably wondering right now why I skipped a number here. And that is because, well, let's just say I wanted to save the best for last. Dynasty Warriors 8 Extreme on Nintendo Switch 2 is phenomenal. This is a locked 60 FPS. Looks great, shockingly. I was actually really impressed with this when I gave it a go. I'm surprised I haven't tested this sooner, but I highly recommend you pick this one up. It's just, runs great, looks great, phenomenal soundtrack, some really goofy characters that are really fun to play as. Like this lady who does like spider webs. She's a lot of fun to play as, for sure. And my boy, you saw him earlier. Zhu Shu is just he's a treat. I think this game is one of the most content-rich Warriors options on the Nintendo Switch 2 right now. And it is just an absolute blast and one of the easiest recommendations I can make. From one surprise into another, Fire Emblem Warriors The Three Hopes is another locked 60 FPS experience that is absolutely a joy to play. There's a lot more enemies on screen with this game, which, I think back on it, it's like, this game is really impressive for a original Switch game. But it's made even better here on Switch 2. This takes place right alongside the Three Houses, which, you know, it's one of the more favored Fire Emblem games in recent memory. It's interesting. So it has your usual Fire Emblem trappings, like you are commanding units around a field in combat, while, you know, also hacking and slashing. You can also select to play as the other characters in your little crew, which is really fun. The different characters have different weapons, so there's different gameplay styles. Pretty much a really awesome package overall. You level up your character as per usual with these games, but for Fire Emblem it kind of gives it more of that RPG flair to it. Characters have different classes and all that good jazz. But yeah, this game impressed me quite a bit when I booted it up. I had to start a new save because I forgot that I, for some reason, started this save on my Japanese profile and not my English profile when I first played it on the original Switch, but that's okay. It was a good way to just kind of jump in and see what's going on here, and thankfully the going is good. Easy recommendation if you're a big fan of Fire Emblem, or if you're looking for a good starter game, like for a Warriors, like a good entry point for Warriors, I should say. This is a really good place for that as well. Another exceptionally solid entry point, I feel, for people is going to be Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. This game is, I will say, not canon to the Breath of the Wild storyline, even though they mildly pitched it as such right off the bat before it came out, as being like, oh, you get to see the Age of Calamity and get to experience the different champions before they perished, and that's really cool. It's still worth playing, I will say, as I bomb myself there. Kind of funny. Basically, it's the world of Breath of the Wild, but as a Warriors game. The combat here is very flashy, very fun. I actually really like it a lot. I will say it is kind of unfortunate this game is locked at 30 FPS, even on Switch 2. I was kind of hoping that with Age of Imprisonment coming out, they would have released a patch to upgrade this game. Would have been really cool if they did, because I think this game is actually a lot of fun. Just overall, great package. Very goofy, but like in the best ways. Like it's more badass goofy than like stupid goofy like Dynasty Warriors 9. This is just an easy recommendation from me. I highly enjoy Hyrule Warriors in its entirety. I wish I had Definitive Edition to show you all. That game is a locked 60 on Switch 2, which I really wish I could get my hands on a copy. I just cannot find it locally for the life of me. And online, I think people are asking slightly higher price than I would like to pay for it. But that is neither here nor there, because we're talking about Age of Calamity. Phenomenal game. Fantastic game. I love it so much. It's just really fun to play. Link has some really funny combos that I think are just highly enjoyable. And yeah, I do recommend you check this out if you are looking for a good entry point into the Warriors franchises. Or if you're just a Zelda fan and want something more, it's pretty cool to be able to play as the different champions, I will say. But, you know, as nice as this game is, it is currently being overshadowed by a certain new release that blows this thing out of the water. Holy crap. This next game, of course, is the main topic of discussion for this video. Whole reason I made this video, actually, because I wanted to provide a mini review, but also give some context as to where we've been and where we are now. That game, of course, is Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. Now, this here's a game that surprised me. Like, I knew I was going to have fun with it because I enjoy Warriors games in general. I just think they're very, very entertaining and silly, but I was not expecting to find myself as invested in this game as I've become. Like, this game, just out of nowhere, grabbed me, and I honestly feel like this is probably one of the best games on Switch 2 as of right this moment. It's very nice to look at. It is not, what's crazy is this game is not running at a high resolution, but the art style is just super effective, and the fact that it's running 60 frames per second and just has so much going on at one time, it really makes up for the lower resolution. You know, I honestly wasn't really too sure what to think about it when I was like, ah, crap, it's like not really truly like hitting that high of a resolution. And that kind of disappointed me at first, but the more I play it, the more I look at it, the more I appreciate it. There is some pop in here and there to facilitate the performance. It's totally expected though. And I mean, again, like there's so many particle effects and so many characters on the screen, so many things going on. The art style just pops. It's a gorgeous game despite being at a lower resolution than I would like. But the thing that really took me by surprise is that there is a moment in this game where they basically made like their own kind of Panzer Dragoon style rail shooter, and I wasn't expecting this. Like, I was completely blind going into this game, and let me tell you, this stage was so cool to me and so out of nowhere that I just kind of fell in love with it. Like, it's simple. Yeah, sure. You get some extra abilities, like, you know, you get your rockets that are like your lock-on shot. You get a high damage laser beam that's good for melting down the enemy's health bars as well as their stagger. And you get a dodge roll that can deflect projectiles, kind of like Star Fox in that regard. But it's just such a cool moment that really just came out of nowhere and felt kind of unnecessary, but I really love them for doing that. And to follow that up, this is about the moment where you unlock the ability to play as the mysterious construct, as well as the little Korok buddy that he has with him. And let me tell you, their gameplay is so satisfying and so much fun to play that this is the moment for me where this game just clicked. Like, it truly became okay, this is one of my favorite games of this year, because holy crap, like, the mysterious construct is such a joy to play. And, you know, Calamo, the Korok, he's good fun too. Like, he's got some cool tech to him. Like, he throws little bombs around, and he's just small and fast, and just a total joy to play as. And once I unlocked these guys as characters that I can just casually play as through different stages, it was a game changer for me. Like, it genuinely became just such a blast. Like, these guys rock, and they elevate this game to a degree that I was not anticipating. And I look forward to having more on-rail shooter stages, because that's just a lot of fun. But I also really just look forward to playing as these guys, because they're just some of the most fun I've had in a Warriors game in a while. And this is everything I want out of a Musou, and then some. And I honestly adore it for that. Again, this game, it's beautiful. Like, visually just looks so good, and the combat gameplay is tight. It's flashy. Music is really solid as well. It's not quite on par with some other Warriors games that are more high energy with like electric guitar and all that. However, it fits this world pretty well. And the story is actually really engaging. There's actual stakes. You're getting to see a lot of really cool things. I mean, this is the origin story of Hyrule. You know, you're getting to see like the original king of Hyrule, Rauru, like meeting Ganondorf and kind of, you know, taking him in as, you know, an ambassador or whatever. And then of course he gets betrayed because it's Ganondorf, and Ganondorf's a bad guy. And, you know, it's just really cool seeing kind of like the origins of Hyrule in this way, and getting to actively participate in the first time that Ganondorf, like, became a problem. So, really awesome. I do like that aspect of it a lot. And this game is canon. So there's no, like, no BS. There's no, oh, this is just fan fiction. Like, this is a genuinely canon game, and I have to applaud them for doing so well with all of the side characters, and overall just telling a good story, but also having action that's top tier. So yeah, I really do recommend this game wholeheartedly. Originally I was just kind of like lukewarm on it, but now I'm definitely a fan, and I think a lot of people, well, more people should pick this up and give it a go, because I think it's well worth the money. One of the best games on the Switch 2, in my opinion. It definitely feels, despite the resolution being low, it definitely feels like a proper next-gen Nintendo title. Really awesome game, and, you know, there's so much content as well, so you're going to be able to play this for a long time. needless to say, this is probably one of the easiest recommendations I can make for anyone that's into Zelda or maybe wants to try a Warriors game. I think this is honestly the best Warriors game on the platform. And if I had to choose a second option, I would say Dynasty Warriors 8 Extreme. That game is just such a joy to play. But in terms of, you know, if you were to go out to the store and buy one of these right now, go get Age of Imprisonment. I don't think you'll regret it. The action gets pretty crazy after a couple hours, I will say. Once you unlock Mysterious Construct, the story and the fights, it becomes what some might say absolute cinema in action. Like, I genuinely wholeheartedly will say that this is one of the best games on the platform right now, and you should try it. At least give it a go. I think more people should pick it up. I feel like this game is going to become a slightly underappreciated gem over time, much like Age of Calamity, where people are like, yeah, it came out, that's cool, whatever. But I think this one deserves a little bit more than that. So this is easily right now, I'd give it like, this is a 9 out of 10 for a Warriors game, which is pretty darn good. And with that, thank you so much for watching. I'm so thankful for all of you. We are so close to that 1,000 sub goal, which again, once we hit it, there will be a really cool video that I'm going to put out. It's going to be kind of an interview in a way. Going to be talking with an individual that is responsible for a rather significant piece of gaming history that has been long forgotten. So I hope this video was able to showcase some games to you that maybe throw on your backlog. Dynasty Warriors 8 in particular is just a phenomenal experience on Switch 2. Runs so beautifully. Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes, also fantastic performance across the board. However, I wouldn't discount like Fate Samurai Remnant is pretty good overall. It's a game that I have played on Steam predominantly, but I did pick up on Switch so I could showcase how it performs. Just because I know that was one that on Switch 1 had some issues. It is 30 FPS. Not much you can do there. A few of these games are locked 30 because of just the sheer amount of things going on. But they are stable, which is really nice. Yeah, hopefully you got something out of it. I really enjoyed making it. It was a pretty straightforward video that had a lot of me just spending hours upon hours playing Musou games. Which I can't complain about. It's good fun. All of these games are good fun. They're just dumb, enjoyable, except, you know, Age of Imprisonment, I will say, it feels like a much more premium, serious package, and I really do enjoy it for it, but it goes exceptionally hard when it needs to, which is awesome. Hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. I will see you next time.